morning with Allie and Adam from the South Lyon Area MS Support Group. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, I'm first going to go to, because I see your t-shirt over there, Over Myelin Sheath.
That's right.
Describe that for me.
Well, for MS, myelin sheath is the part of the nerves that gets destroyed.
Okay.
So it's like a little, the best way I've explained it is, it's like your phone cord charger. It starts to fray and starts to not work anymore, but it's still connected. It sometimes works. That's basically what it does. So the sheath, the covering kind of deteriorates, and then the nerve signals don't get sent.
Gotcha.
And that's basically what MS is in a really dumbed down version.
Okay. And describe to us a little bit about MS then, because again, people hear about it all the time, MS walks and so forth, but it may not be as well understood. So talk to me a little bit about what MS is.
Well, MS is short for multiple sclerosis, and sclerosis is just a very, very fancy word for scar.
Okay.
And and what it is it's the fantastic disease where it's neurological and autoimmune.
Wow. Okay.
So it's your autoimmune system attacking the myelin sheaths on the end of your nerves in your brain and in your spinal cord.
Yep.
And it just makes things go haywire.
Yep.
So and what makes it really hard on two fronts is it affects everybody differently. Because like Adam's stuff isn't the same as my stuff.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
But it's invisible.
Right.
Right. So like if you were to see Adam, you probably like with this, he has some walking sticks. You wouldn't assume that he has MS.
Right.
You'd assume he has something different.
Like injured.
Broken
Yeah.
football injury from high school or
Something.
something.
You'd be amazed how many times I get asked with those if I just went for a hike.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, yes, I did. From
Yes.
the car inside.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
But I was going to add on to that, like you said, it's different. It's known as like the snowflake disease.
Okay.
Because everyone is so much different. It can be
Right.
cognitive, it can be physical, it can be, internal. You never know.
Yeah. Well, talk to me about the support group then, because obviously it's great then to be able to connect with other people as well.
Yeah.
Even though you might be impacted differently, talk to me about what the support group has meant to you.
Oh, geez. Well, so it's run by a fantastic human being named Mary. She doesn't have MS, but her brother does.
Okay.
And that's why she started the group, because she wanted to try to get her brother to, come out and talk about it and stuff like that. That hasn't happened yet, which is fine.
Sure.
We're all waiting
We're
for the
working on
day.
it.
We're waiting for the day. But we meet at the Church of Christ down here on Pontiac. Because the pastor's wife actually has MS.
Okay.
And so when Mary was calling around looking for
A place to host.
it, it was kind of like, oh, it's kind of meant to be.
Right.
But we're a great, we're a fairly positive group. We try not to get bogged down in
Sure.
the everyday misery of
MS.
And it's just it feels really good having a place to go at least once a month.
Right. And for yourself, what has the support group meant for you?
For me, I'm relatively newly diagnosed. It's been like 3 years.
Okay.
And I actually joined it during COVID. So it was all online on Zoom.
Right.
Which gave me something to look forward to as well. Talked to some people. For a while, I didn't have any groups, any people, didn't know anyone with MS. So I was just kind of swimming on my own. So it was great to just have people to talk to and understand, actually really know. Because if you don't get it, unless you get it.
Right.
That's one of the biggest things. You don't get it unless you get it.
Yep.
And people can empathize and understand, but they don't fully understand.
Yep.
So having people that have it, and with the group, there's such a wide range of people. People that have had it for a couple of years, people that have it for 30 years,
Right.
and different, like Allie said, it's different for everybody. So we're all different, but we're all the same in a sense.
You have that connection, exactly.
Like she said, we are relatively positive, but it's a nice, safe space if you do have a problem.
Right.
You can just let it out, and then someone will be like, oh, yeah, that happened to me, and you can try this, or try that, and do this. It's just a safe place where you can just let it all out.
Right. And then as far as, I know MS Walk is a very popular, very well-known thing. Talk to me a little bit about what that is and when that is and what the purpose of that is.
All right, yeah, the MS Walk, we did it the first time as a group last year in Kensington.
Okay.
It was end of May. I think this year it's going to be May 22nd or 21st, one of those days. But anyways, we just got together and we decided we were going to do it, and we put the team together, and we ended up raising like $22,000.
Wow, great.
It all goes to the MS Society for research and other stuff for that, and it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, just to
About how
see-
many people turned out then last year?
Oh.
Not just within your group, but overall.
I would say there was a couple hundred.
Excellent.
Like for our group alone, there was probably 70, 80. I went all out for it. Like, I made these shirts, and I went back to all my old employees that used to work for me, all my buildings at UPS, and got some drivers to come out and do that. And it spread a lot. It was really good. I'm looking forward to this year
Yep.
because I had plans to make it even bigger than last year.
Cool, cool. Which is good, again, and the t-shirts that you highlighted too. I mean,
The
it's a
t-shirt.
great t-shirt, be able
Yeah.
to, again, bring awareness and so forth.
Yeah.
And speaking of bringing awareness, what is it that you would want the public to know or the public to know about this disease, about multiple sclerosis?
They call it an invisible disease,
Mhm.
but it affects like every aspect of my life.
Right.
It affects what I decide to wear in the morning. It affects if I can even go out and do anything on the weekends,
Mhm.
things like that. And just I wish we had a more empathetic society as a whole of just understanding, like, just because a person looks, young and able to do whatever, that's not always the case.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we have to be, kind about those kinds of things.
Yeah. And understand exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with just that. Just spread the awareness of it. Like Allie said, every day is different. We wake up and we don't know what it's going to be for us.
Right.
So it's hard to make plans. It's hard to schedule stuff. It's because we never know how we're going to feel. And, personally, I've lost a lot of friends because of this.
Right.
Because, I can't go out, and then they think they don't really understand MS, so people fear what they don't understand.
Right.
So they think it's something like terminal illness. It's not, but you never know.
Right.
I say I want to come out and do something, but then that day I'm done. I just
Right.
can't do it, and then it just starts to fade away. So if people just understood that more and gave us a little leeway, I guess,
Yep.
it would be nice.
And so if I'm someone who does have MS, how would I find out about the support group, or how can I get plugged into that?
We have a Facebook account
Okay.
that's run by our leader, Mary. We're also advertised on I don't know if it's MS Society.
I was trying to think of a
Nash-
foundation.
or
It was one of the
National
two.
MS. It's one of the MS MS. There's a few big MS networks out
Sure.
there. And I found it through there. I just put in my zip code,
Okay.
and this was one that was closest to
Okay.
me at the time. So there's that, or just by where we meet mostly the fourth Sunday of every month at the
Church of Christ in town.
At the
Mhm.
Church of Christ. And anyone and everyone's welcome, even if you don't have MS, but you know someone who does and you want to learn more about it, anyone is welcome to come.
Okay.
And
hang
it's
out.
not just in person either. Like, we have a Zoom set up also. So
Okay.
if you can't, some people, you're not feeling great, you
Sure.
can't make it there, the roads are bad.
Yep.
We still have a Zoom set up, so you can join on Zoom too,
Okay.
which has been nice.
And if I'm a community member, I know you mentioned that you could stop by and check things out, bring that understanding, but what else can I, as a community member, do to help volunteer? Like for the walk, if I wanted to walk.
Oh
for the
yeah,
MS walk,
if
how would
you
I?
do the walk, well, once it starts and we get the actual date of it, where I'm gonna start spreading it, the group will.
Okay.
And you can join, and you can, join the team if you want to, and show up and bring other people and just spread it that way.
Right.
It's all word of mouth,
Good.
And another thing, we're tied in pretty closely with the Yoga Moves MS.
Okay.
That's how I joined it. I started doing Yoga Moves MS. There's a lot of different members that do it. And so we're kind of tight knit with them. So we kind of draw some people from that too. And it's been good.
Cool. Well, thank you, Allie. Thank you, Adam, for coming out today. Really appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.